let's get rolling here. Sorry to keep you a few minutes here. This is John Skelton with Apex. Daryl is not going to be on the webinar with us this afternoon. Him and Jackie are, he's finishing up a couple of projects and a couple things I had given him as well. And tomorrow is him and Jackie's, I believe it's 11th year anniversary. So we're trying to get him to finish up a few things and then give them a little bit of time away here for the next couple of days. So he will be kind of in and out. Today's webinar is going to be very, very quick, very short and sweet. Not going to be diving into anything too crazy deep for you guys here today. More just some updates and to address a few questions we've had coming in over the last couple of days here, just to get them addressed for everybody as a whole. So biggest thing that has been coming up today, for example, is rollovers. All right, so let's just kind of jump right in here. If you're on the website here, under the scanner section, if you go to, for example, the binary scanner, you go to Nadex information, it's going to give you the Nadex rollover calendar. Okay, and as you see here on Saturday, we have it listed for all of the US indices to roll and for oil to roll. Okay, and you can see here that Japan rolled earlier this week. If you're frequently checking this, I mean, when you log onto your live Nadex account, it'll give you a message will pop up letting you know what rollovers are coming up, but you can also check this calendar to know ahead of time what rollovers are coming. We've got some of the European markets rolling next week, and then gold later this month. Normally, when it comes to oil and the indices, natural gas, gold, most of the commodities, Nadex does their roll over the weekend, and what that means is you will trade the current contract all throughout the week, even that Friday, but then when things open up Sunday night, and then of course Monday with Nadex, that is when you'll trade the new contract. Now, if you were to look on the CME or even in NinjaTrader, the roll date, it would tell you, for example, on the indices, it would give you today's date, the 12th. Okay, so the indices are starting to roll today. So for all of you Nadex traders, you don't need to worry about the rollover until the weekend. All right, and then start trading that Sunday and Monday. Where some confusion has come in today for you futures traders is because technically the date, today's date is the date of the roll, which is true, but not all traders roll over. Not all traders start trading the new contract initially on the first day it rolls over. Let me give you an example here. If you go to CME, this is on the on ES. Let's see here. If we look at volume right now, you can see that the March contract, even though it's technically starting to roll today, okay, the March contract volume is still over 1 million here. The June contract, which is what we'll be rolling to, is about 600,000. So the March contract still has twice the volume on it that the March contract has. Okay, and I've kind of been watching this throughout the day, and you've seen these numbers just slowly start to decrease on March, increase on June. So some of you have already started rolling over and you're trading on the June contract for your futures, which is fine. You can roll over. That's no problem. But most traders probably won't roll till Monday, even on the futures contracts. Okay, if you check this later today, you'll see these numbers changing. If you check this tomorrow, you may see that the March contract is, down under 1 million, and this one's coming up to, 800,000. They're starting to kind of even out there. Then by Monday, you'll see that the March just doesn't have the volume. And the volume is the June contract. So just because CME or Ninja shows a particular roll date does not always mean you want to roll right over. Okay, you want to check the volume, and you want to see where the trading is going on. Where's the action happening at? Um, so you can check this volume today, you can check it tomorrow. My personal recommendation to you, and Daryl and I were talking about this a little while ago as well, just to keep it consistent for everybody, whether you're a Nadex binary trader, spread trader, or a futures trader. Keep an eye on the volume here. Most likely just go ahead and roll your contracts over the weekend, and then Monday start trading a new contract. Okay. You also want to make sure that, and we'll be sending out some reminders again tomorrow on the Ninja message center. We'll post it in the rooms, and we'll probably tweet it out as well to remind you to go ahead and do it over the weekend. A lot of times it's easier to go ahead and do your rolls on the weekend anyway. That way you're not interrupting your trading day. You know, you can go into Ninja, roll all your contracts over, update all your contracts in your workspaces. That's very important as well. You don't want to have expired contracts in your workspaces. You don't want to have, you know, multiple duplicates in there. It can cause some problems with your workspaces. Okay, so just want to address that had come up in the room several times. We had several help desk tickets and some phone calls about it. Some people were trying to open the June 2015 contracts on the indices, which is fine. You can open those contracts, you can trade them. Some people were asking about the volume, and then a few of you were asking why the deviation levels were not showing up on the June contracts. Okay, and we are taking care of that. You'll probably see those deviation levels start to plot on there tomorrow. Most likely, you'll definitely see them by Monday, but I'm going to try to get Ben to get those up there tonight so that you guys have them by tomorrow on that new contract if you so choose to trade it. But unless something just really flip-flops with volume tomorrow, I think most of the volume is going to stay on March until Monday. Okay? So also keep in mind not just the indices, but oil is also rolling this weekend. So you'll want to make sure you switch over your oil contracts as well. And then any of you that might be trading European markets, keep in mind those are going to be rolling on Tuesday. For those of you that might be new and not quite sure what we mean by rolling contracts or how to do it, you can go right here to the questions tab of the website under active Apex Investing courses. And in the initial setup, the setting up NinjaTrader and Apex Toolkit, getting started with everything, one of the last videos in here that I've got is right here, setting up default instrument list for Ninja. I also in that video cover how to do rollover. Okay, so you just go back and watch that video. It's like a 11 or 12 minute long video. It'll show you exactly how to roll everything over to make sure that that is up and running for you. Okay, so that is that update there. One other thing here, while we're talking about courses, under the Elite Trend Catcher training course, now again, this is the Elite course, this is not the 5-minute binary course. But last night I went through, and some of you might now see that you've got some unwatched videos in there. We reworked this course a little bit, and obviously we're going to be reworking it over time. I added in at the bottom, just so everybody knew where to find them, some of the newer videos that we have done. Okay, a couple weeks ago on a Thursday afternoon webinar, Daryl went through and covered. You saw him do some live trade examples using the dual charts on the screen, had the diagnostic charts on the right, the range bound confirmation charts on the left, walking you through a trade there. So I've added a section, another module in here, important new trend catcher updates. So we've got how to copy and paste the trend catcher parameters from the forum. You know, for you new guys out there that have just recently gotten started with Elite Trend Catcher, if you've gone through this course, let me just kind of give you an overview of why we did this. If you've gone through the course, this is still the original course we made a month or so ago, and it walks through each and every step, how to set everything up, how to set up your charts, the entries and exits, and then it got into all the settings. What are stats, how to do stats, what is confirmation, using the export buttons, the schedule features, coming up with parameters. We talked a lot about how to go through and run stats. What are all the different settings and parameters? What do they mean? What do they do? If you make changes to them and you adjust them, you test them out, you run new stats, you can, come up with stats that you like that fit your, account size, your risk tolerance, your max drawdown tolerance. You can add the scheduler on there to, just find out the stats during your own trading schedule, and on and on. Okay, but some of that can be a little overwhelming, especially for a new person. You're starting off just trying to understand trading. Maybe you've never traded before. Maybe you've never pushed a button before. So you're just trying to figure out how to open your charts and figure out how to get your data set up and read a chart, and then understand the simple entry and exit rules. Might be a little overwhelming for you with all those different settings and functions and features. Okay, and we address this in the initial course, but as you know, you don't have to go through all those steps. You don't have to spend weeks testing and weeks playing with settings and coming up with schedules and figuring it out for yourself. All right, you can get to that later once you've got a handle on everything and know what you're doing. You can just start off with the preset parameters that are in the forum. Okay, so even though we cover that here, Daryl had done another video showing you exactly where to find those parameters, how we now have them broken up in the forum, and I'll show you that here in a second, and how to copy and paste them in. All right, so I know that's redundant for some of you guys, but for some of the newer guys, don't get stuck on, I got to spend days and hours or weeks playing with all these numbers. We've done it. We have some room leaders and some beta leaders that have done it. Scott has spent a ton of time running some of these, Kevin, several of the other guys, and this video here just shows you where to go to find them, copy and paste them in, and go. You're all good. Okay, then we also have in here where Daryl kind of walked through in a little more detail about what range bar confirmation is. All right, again, for you new guys, in the initial course when we covered confirmation, we explained to you what confirmation is, to where we're not just trading on one single chart, taking every trade. We're looking at another chart that has some different settings on it that's helping us confirm the general direction, the general immediate trend of the market, okay, as a filter, as a secondary entry filter. And we also talk about the separate trend catcher confirmation indicator, which is that second indicator that you can put on your chart at the bottom, and you can see what that other time frame is confirming. Is it confirming short or long? And that helps you take that trade. But what we mainly talk about in that section was time-based bars. We talked about 5-minute confirmation, 10-minute confirmation. We really walked through and showed you that. Now we are kind of in phase 2 or 3 of trend catcher here, making some adjustments and improvements to the stats and to the system. We're not using that confirmation indicator anymore. All right, and we're not really using time-based confirmation anymore, 5 or 10 minutes. We are now using range bar confirmation, and that's why I've added it down here. Some people asked, hey, why did you take that out of there? Why don't you just take that out of there? If we're not really using it in that way anymore, why is it still in there? Well, and at some point we may redo this complete entire course, but the reason I've left that section in there for now is, yes, down here Daryl walks through some of it, and then this next video here is the Austin video. Everybody's calling it the Austin system, the Austin video, the Austin chart setup. That's a very extremely important video for you to watch. It'll bring everything together for you, make it easy, make it simple. He walks you through exactly how to, instead of using the confirmation indicator, how to open a confirmation chart and put that on your trading screen to use that. So it's very easy. I think it's an 11 or 12-minute video. He brings it all together for you, super simple. I've seen you guys talking about it in the forum and in the room. Everybody's loving it. Okay, but we still want you to understand. See, that video is telling you how to do it. We really still want you to understand why. We want you to understand why we're using confirmation. Why is it so important? Why do you not want to just take every random trade that has an arrow? Okay, because you want something else confirming there for you. So those sections are still in the training, explaining to you what confirmation is and explaining that confirmation indicator. It's just, some people are using that. I don't personally recommend it because the stats are so much better with the new range chart confirmation, but it's still in there so that you can understand. Just giving you a little sneak peek of, you've heard us use the analogy, we'll teach you to drive the car. You don't necessarily need to know exactly how the engine works and every little aspect of how a transmission is put together and switches from gear to gear. But, there might be some people want to know, and there might be some people that need to know, hey, I understand I need to open this chart and this chart, but tell me why. Help me understand why. That can make me a better trader. That can make me know more what I'm doing, know more what to look for, and get just a broader spectrum, idea of everything. So that is why some of those are still in there. Help you understand what confirmation is. This new section gives you all the new updates for Trend Catcher, copying and pasting parameters, what's behind the range bar confirmation and why, and setting up the range chart confirmation. All right, so I know there's been a few of you guys in the room that have still been using the confirmation indicator, and you're kind of wondering, hey, how come these other guys aren't using it? What's this new thing? So we put it all together here for you. Okay. Now, under the submit section, again, here's a live trade example. That's the live trade recording that Daryl did on the webinar a couple weeks ago. But we also put two new videos here at the bottom. Okay, these are a little bit longer videos that Kevin had made, where he kind of walked through showing you guys how he trades. All right, I think it's about an hour long, those last couple of videos. But it's worth going through them just to watch, because he shows you how he sets up his screen, his DOM, his charts, how he's trading, what he's looking for, and you can watch several trades. I think he's doing market replay in part of it, and walking through, showing you how to taking this one and not taking this one, and here's why. Again, a little bit longer video. You do have the live trade that Daryl did, but this is just more of a walkthrough of a longer time frame of, here's why I took this one, here's why I didn't. All right, this is what's coming up, here's what you want to look for. It kind of puts the whole everything together. You're going through this whole course, and you're setting up Ninja and learning the entries and exits and all those different things, how to place your orders, and Kevin's walkthrough just does a good job at kind of putting it all together for you, because you learn each one of these things and you're adding on, and then you're jumping in on your own and trying to demo and being in the room and, wait, when do I do this? How do I do this? So it's nice to just kind of have that to piece it together and show you how to use it all together once the pieces are done. So just wanted to walk through some of those changes there for you. We've had a lot of questions about where to find those videos, where to find the Austin video, and helping you understand the new range confirmation. As far as a trend catcher update in general, we are Alex has a list of things he is working on right now for trend catcher. We Hope to have a pre-beta release sometime next week. Get the pre-beta guys working on that, then hand it over to beta team, and hopefully have the new version out soon. The new version is, obviously what we're looking to do is, some of sometimes we've got these intra-bar issues where in the middle of a bar may hit an entry level, then bounce off that level. A bar may confirm intra-bar, then go another direct. It's the intra-bar issues that are causing some of these trades to happen and then not show on certain refresh stats. You are all familiar with that. The new range confirmation takes care of most of those issues, but we want to get it all done and plotting on the chart for you properly. So that is our biggest priority that we're working on right now. Alex has a long list that he is going through and making that better. Let's see here. I know that some of you guys you are aware of those issues, and you have been sending in some tickets of that with screenshots of, hey, here's one that was there and then wasn't there later after I refreshed. We appreciate all the examples that you guys have given us and all the input, but we're fully aware of it. We're fully aware of the issue and working through it with programming. You guys don't need to keep sending in more screenshots. I think we've got as much as we need there. We've kind of overwhelmed him with examples. He's dug into them. He's got it. So we're on it, working through it, and we're good to go there. I was personally testing out a alpha version yesterday, and from what I've seen, looks like most of that issue has been fixed in the new version. The other thing that has been fixed is, as you guys saw with one of the newer releases, the cyan bars were plotting on every bar as it goes, and that was kind of making your chart a little messy. We've got that addressed already as well as making some upgrades and adjustments to the sim trading and the stats to make sure all that is accurate there. Just digging in piece by piece, getting all these little issues worked out. So we are working on it. We're aware of the issues, and we're trying to knock them out here for you. We were up most of the night, the last couple of nights, reviewing and testing and going through all kind of stuff. So let's see here what else we've got. Let me just check a couple questions here. Just 1 second. One other thing we are working on, and this is just to give you a quick glance here. This is a screenshot. It's just some things we were playing with, but as you see, the constant cyans on every single bar are gone. As of this screenshot, though, he did not remove the labels, but those labels will be removed as well, and then making some changes to the stats. But you see this little orange line here. See your cyan arrows in this orange line. That is one of the other things we're working on. That's an alert that's basically going to let you know, as of this cyan bar, was the confirmation lining up? Okay, and if so, that's going to give you a better idea to expect that the solid red or green line is going to pop up. Just kind of a heads up of what's going on with the range bar confirmation chart, and that way you'll be able to kind of see that on the same chart. So that is one of the other things we're working on. So there's a lot of things in the mix. A couple of you guys said, hey, I know you are working on some new things to Trend Catcher, but what all are you doing? What's happening? So just kind of wanted to give you an idea there. Jay, you're asking, is the orange stop line now an early warning? That's not that particular line there was not that what I'm talking about that we're working on is not a stop line. That is just a line to let you know if at that point in time confirmation was lining up. Okay, we do have that on the list. We actually discussed that the night before last. It won't be in this release here, it won't be in the first release, but probably in the second release, is we are wanting to implement a trailing stop line, meaning, and don't expect this right away, this is again down the list. We're first of all trying to get these certain issues fixed. You have the 3 exit rules that you can follow, and you know exactly where you need to get out. You can manually move that, but it's on the list discussing once you're in a trade and you go into a trade, having some type of line or symbol or something. I personally wasn't sure if I wanted it to be another line because there are already so many lines on the chart. I kind of think it should be a little different, and we'll dig into that. But once you enter a trade, some type of, say, a sideways arrow that moves up and down as the market is changing, showing you where that stop would be, just as an extra help. I mean, you know the rules, you know the 3 exits, but it is something for the future that we're talking about. So anyway, just a quick update there of the indice rollovers and what's going on with Trend Catcher. We are working on it, and like I said, hopefully the first pre-beta release will come out next week. Get our beta team working through that and get it out to you guys just as soon as possible. One of the other things while we're on the site here, just to give you guys a heads up, over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be, I had Paul duplicate the site for me on a backup server. I'm going to be playing with some new adjustments to the site as far as the layout and visual. So you be aware you might see a few changes on the site coming over the next couple of weeks here. We'll let you know, and we'll definitely cover on a webinar, hey, here's the new place where to find this or that. I just want to make the site a little bit easier to navigate, and a little bit easier to find a few things. For example, on the menus up here, I'm probably going to add in a separate menu that goes directly to the forum. A separate menu goes directly to the help desk, and just a little bit of cleanup. All right, so just be prepared. Normally, anytime we make some kind of change to the site, people freak out. They're like, "Wait a minute, where do I find this? What did you do?" It's all still there. All right, if you're a P3 or Binary Essentials member, everything you need is going to be under Binary Essentials. If you're trading Apex Elite or Apex Elite Trend Catcher, everything you need is going to be under the Elite tab. Okay, and obviously you can go to Education for all the videos and questions and forum for all of that. Okay, but just giving you a little bit of a heads up there. So that is the main updates there as far as rollover and Elite Trend Catcher. Couple other questions have been coming in quite a bit about the binaries, 5-minute binaries and 20-minute binaries. So just wanted to address publicly some questions there. Couple things. First of all, if any of you were on the Monday night webinar that I did this past Monday night, we talked about, we just kind of in general went into some of our different strategies for 5-minute binaries and 20-minute binaries and so on. All of you are familiar with the 5-minute binary training course that we have that covers how to use the Trend Catcher system for the 5-minute binaries. And again, just want to make another kind of public clarification here. The Trend Catcher system that we use for 5-minute binaries is different from the Elite Trend Catcher. The Elite Trend Catcher that is used for, Forex and futures, that has parameters and stats and simulated trades, that is the Elite Trend Catcher for futures and Forex. Okay? The 5-minute binary Trend Catcher system does use a version of the Trend Catcher, but we're still getting questions of, hey, well, what parameters will work for 5-minute binaries? Well, how do I run stats on 5 minute? You don't. It's very clear. It's in the first video of each of those courses that they're different, okay, and that they work differently. So if you're trading 5 minute binaries, you need to follow the 5 minute binary training course that is under the Essentials tab. If you're trading futures and Forex, you need to use the one under the Elite tab. Some people have been asking about 20-minute binaries. Okay, some people say, hey, the 5 minute binaries are too fast for me. What about these 20-minute binaries? How can I trade 20-minute binaries? Okay, well, first of all, let me just address one thing here. First of all, those of you, let me bring this back over. If you go to the scanner, and let's make sure we've got, we pull up the 5 minute binaries on the scanner here. Okay, and let me make sure, let me hop into, give me just a second, I want to get into a demo account here just to show you guys something, because even though we had addressed this in the training course, we still get a lot of questions about it. Like I said, some people are saying, hey, the 5 minute binaries are too fast for me. Well, what I've found is that people are meaning two different things by that. Okay. Some people are like, man, I can't handle it. They're just too fast for me. My heart's racing. Did I get in just right? These things move so fast, and I like them. I like the system, but I want something that's just a little bit slower. A lot of people don't like the hourly binaries because they are just too long. They take too long. I don't want to sit there for an hour waiting on a setup on a deviation system or a boomerang system or whatever. They don't want to wait so long. They love the 5 minute binaries. Some people say they're just too fast for me. I don't like the speed of them. Okay, well, then you can trade hourly binaries if you want. You can trade 20-minute binaries. If you want to trade the 20-minute binaries, and we are working to, we'll be adding a video to the 5-minute binary training course, and I will be renaming it to the 5 and 20-minute binary training course. Okay, one of the ways that we trade the 20-minute binaries is literally the same exact way we trade the 5-minute binaries. Okay, with the binary trend catcher system. The only difference is you need to use a 6-tick chart instead of a 3-tick chart. So on the 5-minute binaries for Forex, we're using 3-tick charts. Well, if you want to trade the 20-minute binaries, if you're an elite member and you want to trade the 20-minute binaries, use the same exact system, watch the same exact videos, load the same template, but you need to change it to a 6-tick chart, and you need to change the expected range time frame to 20-minute instead of 5-minute. Okay, so been getting a lot of questions on that. How do I trade the 20 minutes? Well, that's the first thing you can do. Same exact system as 5 minutes, but you need to use a 6-tick chart and a 20-minute range instead of 5-minute. Okay, does that make sense? So yes, that is one way to trade them. Okay, the other thing that people have been asking about is, if you know what, give this a second. We're going to let this refresh here, and we will come back to that. Let's get it to refresh to the next set here. If y'all are on the Monday Night Nadex webinar, we also walk through some quick examples of how else we trade the 20-minute binaries. And one of the, Raphael, yes, the 20-minute binaries are only for U.S. indices. That's correct. That's correct, for the 4 U.S. indices. If Give me just 1 second here. Okay, this refreshed. Before we move on, I'm going to go back to this. Sorry to keep flip-flopping on you. Like I said, some of you guys are saying, oh, they're too fast for me. Some people by that just mean, I want a longer time frame. But what I've found is that what people are normally meaning by they're too fast is because you're chasing your orders. Okay? And I'm going to see if I can find a live example here for you. You know, let's say you're looking at trying to buy a 5-minute binary. So you're using the scanner, you open your ticket here, and you say, okay, well, or you might be using the platform. I'm just going to do this manually. You say, okay, well, I want to buy quantity of 1, and you place submit. Okay? Well, what happens? Well, what happens to some of you guys is that you're saying, hey, my order went into working orders. And that's what I mean by they're too fast, because I can't ever get the order. All right, let me show you over here in the platform. Because I've discovered that about 50% of the time I'm hearing this, that's what you guys are talking about. Because you're finding that you're chasing your orders. Okay? With Nadex, when you place an order, it's a limit order. Okay? So what that means is if I say quantity of 1 and I say I want to buy this and I click that, I clicked it when the price was $10.25. Okay? Well, let's say that the price jumps up. See, right now it's at $16. So if I had placed that order, well, where'd the order go? I didn't get it. See, it's not here in my open orders. If I go to working orders, it's there working. Because remember, I placed the order $10.25, but by that time the price had moved up. What this is saying is, hey, I want to buy it, and I'll pay, the most I'm going to pay for it is $10.25. So I'll pay $10.25 or less. By the time I placed the order, the market had already gone past $10, right? So I didn't get it. Now, the market happened to drop back down, and I did get filled, okay? But see the price there? Do you see it go from 12 to 32 to 33 to 27? See how it's jumping around? So what's happening is you guys are chasing the orders, and that's why you're saying, oh, they're too fast. Because when I try to, you know, open a ticket and, you know, say quantity of 1 and I click this and then I try to go buy it, well, by then it's changed and it's gone past my price and I didn't get it. Okay? Well, that's why we talked to you about you don't want to chase orders. All right? And what I'm going to do is show you, oh crap, I just did it here. Let me see here. I'm going to show you a different example over here on dollar yen. Well, hold on. I'm trying to find something moving to give you a good idea. That one's fine. All right. So let's say I want to buy this contract. I want to buy one of them. Well, see, it's 24, it's 18, it's 21. If I just click one of these and try to get it, oh man, it's moving all over the place. Okay? Part of that issue is great. That's why we use these. But let's say I wanted to buy this. See where it's at 64? What happens if I put 80 in there and just said buy it? Boom, I got right into it. Did you see that? And what did I get it for? 65. Because the price I put in there is a limit order. Okay, so if the market's at 60 but I put in 80, see, a lot of y'all are scared to do that. Well, I don't want to put in 80 because I only want to pay 60 for it. Well, if you put in 80, what you're saying is that's the most I'll pay for it. Fill me at 80 or less. So if the market's jumping around from 80 or from 60 to 65 to 57 to 48 to 58, it's all in there. You're just running after that thing. But if you place a ticket with a higher limit amount and just press enter, it's going to fill you at the best possible price it can. So you're not running around chasing that order. Okay? Now, for some of you guys, this is elementary. You know this, but some of the newer people don't. All right? Let me give you another example here. So, quantity of 1, I want to buy this for $42.50. Well, if I were to place the order now, it would probably fill because the market's going down. Sometimes I'll get a better price, right? But let's say that I wanted to sell this and it's 25, boom. Okay, well, it happened to fill me right there, okay, because the market moved. I'm trying to show you some examples here. I think you guys understand where I'm going with this, but so that you're not chasing orders, if you wanted to buy this for 21, around 20 where it's at now, okay, if I just put 35 in there, watch, see it's 16, 16, 14, 13, 12, looks like the market's going down. It's jumping all over the place. But if I put a higher number of 35, okay, see now it's up to 15, 17, 21, boom, filled me right away. Where did I get filled? At 21. See it? Okay, so just because you put a higher price in there doesn't mean you're going to pay that price. You're going to get the best available price, but you're not going to be jumping back and forth of, oh, I entered at 15, man, it moved, so it's in working orders. Now I got to go working orders and cancel it. Let me try it again. Okay. Oh, next thing I know, this 5-minute period's over. So then you guys are saying, man, is there anything different I can do on these 5-minute buys? They're too fast for me. Most of the time what you're meaning is that. It's not that they're too fast. It's not that you can't handle the speed of them. It's that you just can't get in an order because you're chasing it. Okay? So those might not have been the most perfect examples to show you, but if you're buying, you can put a price in a little higher. If you're selling, you can put a price in a little lower to get filled. That way you're not chasing orders back and forth and losing opportunities. Okay? Because what you got to realize, you're like, man, those prices can move so fast. The market only moves like one tick and it's going crazy. And guys, that's the point. That is the benefit and the beauty of trading the 5-minute binaries. It's because you don't need some huge, long, all-day massive trend. You don't need a 50-point move in the market. You might only need a tick, tick and a half, or 2 ticks to double your money. I mean, the market can move so fast. Problem is, you got to be able to get in it. When your trend catcher system is telling you get in, you've got a flip or you've got a additional entry with your velocity bars and volume going off, you want to get in that trade. Okay? And you want to make sure that you've got that ticket up and you've got that ticket up and ready, and that you're not chasing it. Okay? I mean, I would tell you, if you're looking at something and you're saying, hey, it looks like I just got a pending, it looks like I might get a new entry, I might want to buy this order right here. Okay, so I've got it up and ready, quantity of 1, I clicked it, now I'm just waiting to press the button. Well, what happens when you get that entry? You got that entry on a trend catcher flip because the market moved enough to cause the flip, which means the market moved, which means this price is going higher. So if you pressed enter right now, you would not get filled because you're saying you'll spend $11.25 for it. Well, if I press enter, I'm not going to get filled because it's up here at $12.50. All right. What if I had that order ready to go and I had $30 in there and I'm just ready to roll? That way, when that thing starts moving, maybe that thing jumped from 10 to 17 or 10 to 20, boom, I can still get it. I've got my order filled. I immediately go in and I place a take profit order, and then I'm just sitting there waiting. Like there's nothing else for me to do on that order. Only thing else for me to do is to be watching another market, getting ready for another order, because I'm done. I'm in that trade. The trade is placed. The take profit is placed, and I'm done. Okay. Does that make sense? I know for some of you this is old school, but for some of the new guys, I've just been getting that a lot. Of man, they're too fast. I can't get in them, and that's why. Okay. Is you want to make sure that you are utilizing that order or that limit order, okay, and not chasing your trades all around. So anyway, just a quick little tutorial there on that. We will be making a new video on that and adding it to the course as well. So that will solve most of your problems. The 5-minute binaries will not be too fast for you. You'll be able to get in them if you just utilize that. But if some of you say, they're still a little too fast for me, okay, and you want to trade the 20-minute binaries, you can do that. Use the same exact system as the 5-minute binaries. Just use 6-tick chart and 20-minute ranges, okay. Now, keep in mind what I'm showing you here so that you won't chase those orders. Just because you place that higher dollar amount does not mean that you're necessarily going to pay that. Like I said, it's going to fill you at the best price. But you do have to be willing to accept that the price you entered on that ticket, in the event that someone clears out the book or that the market moves, could be the worst case that you would pay for it. All right, and what I mean by that, Tony brings up a good point to clarify for you here, is let's say that I wanted this order right. Okay, it's at 21.50, so I want to buy it. I want to buy one, so maybe I'm going to say 40. That way, if I see some movement in the market, I can still get in it. Well, I could potentially pay 40 if the market moves like crazy. I've seen some people say, I don't want to chase it, I want to make sure I get it, so I'm just going to put 90 bucks in there because I know that'll always cover it. Well, you're right, that probably should cover it. But what happens if the market took off and right as you were placing that for 90, like it took way off and you ended up having to pay 90 bucks for it? Are you okay with that? Probably not. Your goal might have been to get in the trade for 20 or 30 bucks and then get out of it at 60. Okay, so keep in mind, if you place this price higher than this, that will help you with the market jumping around. But keep in mind, there is a chance that you might actually have to pay that amount if the market has jumped up to that price already. So, put in a higher price on a buy, put in a lower price on a sell to make sure you don't chase the order, but don't put in some crazy amount that you really don't want to pay. I mean, if this binary right now is at 17.50 and you're like, well, hey, I want to buy it around 20, 25, but I don't want to miss it if it jumps, so I'm going to put in 35. No problem, but just make sure that you won't have a problem if that's what you get filled at, is 35. You're like, okay, well, I can handle that. I'll still can get out at 60, 65, sure. All right, so just keep that in mind. Okay. Raphael asks, is it better to trade at the money contracts in case the volume drops after entering the trade? That way you have a better chance that the market doesn't move. Raphael, it's hard to say, and there's no perfect answer for that. Because you got to look at several things. There's some traders that only like to trade out of the money contracts. They only want to risk about 25 bucks at a time, pop in at 25 bucks, hope to double their money on a couple point move and get out. There are some people that only like to trade in the money contracts, saying, hey, it's already in the money, I'm going to buy something for about 75 bucks. That way if the market goes up, I'm good. If the market stays the same, and in your example here, loses volume, goes flat, doesn't do anything, then they still are good because they're already in the money. Or the market could even drop a little bit and I could still finish out in the money. Some people prefer that scenario. Yes, in the case of a out of the money 5-minute binary, you do need volume, or you do need movement in the market to, make that out of the money binary be profitable. So yes, Raphael, you can get into a out of the money binary, and then the volume drops and just everything kind of just goes flat, and yep, that out of the money binary just decays in time, decays in value, and it's worthless. That can definitely happen. Does that mean, well, automatically, hey, let me just do an at the money, that way in case volume dies, I have a better chance? Well, that's a 50-50. I mean, if you get an at the money and volume dies, do you have a better chance? Well, because all the market has to do is just be below your at the money binary by one little pip there. You know what I mean? And, this would be an example of an at the money binary right here, priced around, it's here 0607, the market's at 0607, it's probably about $50. Okay, but all it has to do is just drop to 0606 and you lose the whole $50. You know what I mean? Because steam died out on the market, and if steam dies out and volume dies out, it's not that hard for it to just, like you see a second ago, it was priced 55 when it was like at 0608. Now it's back to 0606. I mean, it's going in the money, out of the money, in the money, out of the money, and just a couple little ticks there, pips there, would be the difference of, oh, well, I bought something for $55 that's now not worth anything, as opposed to, well, $25 that's not worth anything. Now, don't get me wrong, I love at the monies. I trade them all the time. I'm not saying they're bad. I think they're great. And I do in the monies as well. It's just, it's more of a, first of all, it's more of a personal preference of which, you prefer to trade. But, it just has a lot to do with what is happening with the market. That's why in the training courses, we talk a lot about, on the directional, when the trend catcher flips, you're going in the direction of the trend catcher, you're looking at apex direction. On the, the other entries, you're looking at expected volume. You were looking at the timing of the bars, making sure bars aren't taking more than 3 minutes. I mean, if I'm looking at a period of time where the bars are taking, 4, 5, 6 minutes every bar, most likely I'm just going to stay out. If I'm going to do anything, I'm going to do it in the money, because hey, there's not any movement in the market. It's just kind of sitting up there. So I'll do it in the money. Maybe I'll buy something for $75. As long as the market doesn't drop down a few ticks, then hey, I make $25. Great. But that is another thing I'm gonna clarify for you 5-minute binary traders. Is I've heard two things. First thing is, these are too fast for me. We already addressed that. The other thing is, man, I'm not quite getting it to work. I'm sitting here and I'm buying $25 or $30 binaries, and sometimes they'll go up and I'll make my $30, but I just feel like, well, this period, oh, I lost $25. Oh, this next 5 minutes, oh, I lost $25. Sometimes that's going to happen. Sometimes that's just trading. But one of the biggest things I've seen is some of you, especially you newbies, I'm not picking on you newbies, I'm trying to help you out here, is you've watched this training course, you've seen stuff in the rooms, and you've seen, oh man, I love that. I saw Lori go in and buy a $25 binary, and like 30 seconds later, that thing shoots up to $60, and she gets out of it, made $35. Oh man, boom, there she goes again. Bought something for $30, got out at $60. I mean, money, money, money. And you're like, yeah, I want to do that. I don't want to risk hundreds of dollars. I don't want to risk $80 on a in the money binary. I want to buy that, like Lori's doing. But hey, I'm going to go even further out. I'm just going to buy a $15 one, and then I'll get out when it gets to 30. I'll double my money too. And every 5 minutes when these new ones open up, you're not looking at a chart, you're not looking at trend catcher, you're not looking at, or you might be looking at a chart, but are you looking at trend catcher? Are you looking at expected volume? Is it breaking volume? Are you looking at the velocity bars? Are you really paying attention to the bar timers to make sure that your bars are less than 3 minutes? Are you looking at everything that was taught in the course? Are you looking at, are all the the rules being met that are supposed to be met? Or are you just simply going, I opened my template, I got my chart, that trend catcher is pointing down, or that trend catcher is pointing up. Oh look, there's an $18 binary, I'm gonna buy it. Then in the 5 minutes you're like, man, what the heck, I'm just watching my account go down and down and down and down, $18, $20, $25, $30 at a time. Another 5 minutes, there, I lost another 30, I lost another 30. And you're slowly drowning yourself. You're slowly drowning your Nadex account balance down by 20 or 30 bucks every 5 minutes, because you're just looking at a price. You're making an emotional decision of, it's only 20 bucks and I could make all this because I've seen other people do it, and every 5 minutes you're just slapping another 20, slapping another 20. Okay, that's not going to get you anywhere. I mean, Raphael brings up a good point. Raphael, when you asked, is it better to do at the money instead of out of the money in case volume drops, or what should I do here? That's actually a great question, because that's huge. Like, that is the whole point. The whole point of an out of the money is because we need a few ticks. We need 1 to 2, 1 to 3, whatever. We need a little bump in the market. But if you open your chart and you look, and that bar's on 8 minutes, the last bar is still forming. It took 8 minutes to form. Why would you ever buy an out of the money binary there? That's not what we teach, and it's not what's in the course. And I again, don't take this wrong. I'm not trying to say anybody's being lazy about it, but some people are being lazy about it. Some people haven't. There's people in the room and in the pit that I've seen asking the same question of, man, I lost 20 bucks, 30 bucks every 5 minutes on the last 3 5-minute period, man. What's going on? And I see other people in the room going, why? Why would you ever do that? In the last 15 minutes, why would you have ever bought on the dollar yen? Because I'm looking at the chart, and there's only been one bar in the last 15 minutes. Like, we didn't trade it. That's why we didn't trade it. Why would you do that? Well, trend catcher was going up, and there was a $22 binary, so I bought it. That's a good risk-reward ratio. Daryl always talks about good risk-reward. Yeah, that's one small piece of the pie. The reason everybody else in the room didn't take it is because they are following the rules, and then when myself or Daryl or Lori looks up that person's username in the website and can see, they've only taken about 40% of the 5-minute binary training course. They haven't even watched the whole course, and they're in there trading live real money. So, I know we harp on this a lot, and some of you are tired of hearing it. Some of you are tired of watching courses and tired of watching videos. I hear you. I'm tired of making them. Trust me. But they're there for a reason, and we see that over and over again. And I'll even get tickets in the help desk with screenshots attached. Hey, I'm having trouble with 5-minute binaries here. I'm losing some money at that today. I'm down this much today. Here's my screenshots. What did I do wrong? I followed the trend catcher. Yeah, but you didn't follow the rules for the extra entries. You didn't make sure that 2 out of the 3 rules were hit. You didn't look at volume. You didn't look at velocity. You didn't look at timer. You got to look at those things. Okay? That's huge, guys. And for some of you, this is elementary, and boring to hear me talk about this again, but trust me, we see it every day. Okay? So make sure if you're trading those things, don't be just taking every trade that you see out there in the direction of trend catcher because it only costs you 20 bucks. Because I guarantee you what will happen if you do that is you'll over time just see your Nadex account balance go to zero, 20 bucks at a time. And why do I say that? For one, I've seen it happen over and over again. And for two, I did it myself when I was brand new way back when. So, not being mean, not harping, done it myself. Because starting off, I was doing in the money stuff, risking 75, 80 bucks, and wasn't doing that properly. Got a little burn, said nope, I only want to risk 15 or 20 bucks, and all I was doing was buying some for 15 or 20 bucks left and right every time I could, and it was just worse. So very, very important on those things, as well as the 20 minutes. If you're going to say, all right, I hear all that, John, I hear what you're saying, that makes sense, you're right, I screwed up a little bit, but 5 minutes was still too fast for me, I'm going to 20. Okay, well, go to 20, use the 20 minutes if you want, but you still have to make sure of that. You still have to make sure when you're choosing in the money, out of the money, out the money, if you're going to go out of the money, you still have to have that movement. Something you've all heard Lori say as well, expected volume is even more important to look at on the 20-minute binaries. All right, you want to make sure that you've got some movement going on there. Okay, let's see here real quick. Let me get rid of this. I need to log out of here. Let me log out of this real quick so we're not getting interrupted with that. So 5-minute binaries, there's a couple of tidbits. You can use the same system trade, 20-minute binaries. If you're on the Nadex Monday webinar that I did this past Monday, we reviewed a couple of other ways that you can trade the 20-minute binaries. I'm just going to walk through those real quick and then show you once again where you can get the videos because people have been asking about them. On the 20-minute binaries, here's a quick example. We've got a 5-minute chart with 20-minute ranges on it. Okay, this is for flat range-bound days. As you can see on this chart, it's not a huge up and down trend. It's not a crazy up and down volatile. It's kind of a range-bound day. You can see on the expected volume indicator here, we're not really breaking volume left and right. It's just kind of a flat day. All right. Well, on the ranges here, which is the expected range, the expected movement of the market, one of the other ways that you can trade 20-minute binaries is by doing butterflies. Okay, what is a butterfly? A butterfly is an in-the-money strategy, okay, where we're basically going to sell a, let me just show you something here, hold on, where do I put it? Basically what we're doing is we're selling an in-the-money binary up here. We're buying an in-the-money binary down here. Alright, so if I'm selling a binary up here, what am I saying? I'm saying that it's going to finish below this level, correct? If I'm buying a binary down here, I'm saying it's going to finish or expire above that level. Alright, you follow me? So what if I do both? Some of you are only used to going directionally with binaries, doing one contract, you know, based on the direction. But if the market's flat and it's staying between these ranges, I can sell one up here, buy one up here. As long as the market expires in the middle somewhere, then I can win on both sides, right? I can win on my sell and on my buy contract because they're two different contracts. Here's a quick example of the ES chart that I just showed you there. What I did was right here at 2051, Okay, I bought one for 82.50. Up at 20.55, I sold one for 19.50. So as long as it expires between here, okay, meaning, you know, bought one down here, sold one up here, as long as it expires in the middle, then I can be profitable on both sides. So on my buy side, I've got a profit potential of $17.50. On the sell side, I've got a profit potential of $19.50. So, you know, 36, 38 bucks profit potential on this trade. You can see we were coming close to towards the end of the range. This one was already up 12.50. This one's already up 12 bucks. Okay, that's a butterfly. All right, I'm going to show you where you can go and find a full extended hour video of exactly how to do butterflies on 20 minutes. We've just been getting a lot of questions about this. Now, remember up here on this chart, this is a flat day. See the expected volume here? Very low, not breaking. So on, you know, some days we have few days when the market's trending like crazy. Some days the market's flat as can be. Some days it's just volatile, choppy up and down. So on range bound flat days, that is one of the things you can do on 20-minute binaries is the butterflies. I'll show you where to find that training in a second. But what about choppy days, like with volume? Not trending days, but up down chop with volume, where it's not flat. There's movement, but there's no clear trend. Like right here, for example. Remember I told you this is not the exact template, but remember I told you on the 20-minute binaries you'll want a 6-tick chart for diagnostic bars. Here's one here. So look, we got up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And see volumes breaking. So we've got some volatility going on. Very different from the chart I just showed you a minute ago, right? And it's very clear to see the difference. You see the market up and down, you see volume breaking, so there's volatility. All right, so at the beginning of this 20-minute period, the market went way up here and then went way down here. Beginning of this 20-minute period, shot way all the way up here, then came back down. This one here went way down. Well, what is a way that we could take advantage of that on some quick trades? Well, this was called a strangle, where we do an out of the money binary on both sides. So it's still very low risk. You don't need a stop. We're going for a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. And sometimes you can win on both sides or profit on both sides, but with this strategy we're expecting to lose on one side and profit on the other. Okay? And exceeding volume is very important. What do I mean by that? Okay, just real quick on this screenshot. At the money. Here's an at the money binary. See it? It's priced about 50 bucks. So that means the market is currently right around this level, about 17,893. Okay. Well, there's no clear trend. Market's choppy, it's volatile, which means market's going up and down, right? And going into this next 20-minute period, I know there's volatility. I can see it higher than expected volume, but I don't really know if it's going to be up or down. I'm not sure. Well, the market's at this level. So what happens if I buy this binary right here for 18 bucks? Well, if the market's right here and the market jumps up to this level, and now the market's here, this $18 binary will be worth about how much if the market got to that level? Well, about 50 bucks, right? Because then it would then be the at the money binary. Okay, you follow me there? Well, what if the market dropped down? What if I sold this one for 86? And the market, which is now at this level, drops down to about this level? Well, then that would be worth about 50 bucks. So I would have some profit in there. So what if I do both? It's a choppy day, higher than expected volume, a lot of volatility. I'm going to buy this one and sell this one. Let's look at an example here. All right, so here we go again. Up and down chop, higher than expected volume. So I sell one for 86 and I buy one for 15.50. Well, This is for the 120 expiration, which is going to be right here. So going into this, I bought one and I sold one. Well, this screenshot is showing right up here towards the top. So way up here, the one I sold is worthless. But the one I bought is now up $54 in profit. Okay? So does that mean I made 54 bucks if I got out right then? No, because I sold this one for 86, so I've got a $14 risk there, right? So I got to take $14 off of this profit amount. So I'm basically up about 40 bucks because I'm getting this back. I bought it for 15. It's now worth 70. Okay, that makes sense. And this is for the, on this particular day, this is 12/8 I'm using from these old screenshots. This is 120 expiration. All right, well, 20 minutes later, the 140 expiration, same thing. Got some volume breaking, some up and down. Risk $17 here, risk 25 here. This one's worthless, boom, but this one's up 64 bucks. All right, so I got to take $25 profit out of here. Again, I'm up about 40 bucks. All right, 220 expiration, same thing. Market's still zigzagging, volume's going crazy. Sold one for 79, so my risk is 21. Bought one for 20.50, risk is 20.50. Well, this one's worthless right now because it did not go up, it went down, but I'm up 52 bucks on this trade. All right. 220 a little bit later, same thing. Risk about 25 bucks on each side. Higher than expected volume, market's going all over the place. Boom, shot way down. I had about $25 risk on this trade. It was up almost 70 bucks in profit. Okay, so you see the two differences there. And then at 240, actually everything was choppy. Screenshot here is of each. Did a strangle on each one of the indices, and as you can see, one side is always losing, pop. I mean, this right here, I risked what, $10.50, $10.50, boom, up 82 bucks. Right here, risked about 9 bucks, up 83. Risked about 9 bucks, up 84. Okay, like I said a minute ago, don't blindly just take these. Some of you are looking at these screenshots. I even see your messages coming through here going, oh wow, oh man, that's awesome, that's such low risk, I know you can do that, oh wow, $10 risk and you were up 80 bucks on one, oh man, I love that. Don't just take them blindly because of the low risk and the high profit potential. All right, have a reason. You got to look at that volume, look at those ranges, look at choppiness, know if there's news coming out. Never just take the trade based on the risk. All right, you got to have a reason behind it. Okay, so once again, just quickly covering that again because people have asked. So real quick, do you guys see the difference in these charts where this market's coming up and down all over the place and volume's going crazy? That means there's volatility in the market. It's moving, but it's not just a clear trend. So you're not sure exactly what direction it's going to go, but because of all the volatility and volume, it's probably going to go somewhere. So we're going to buy in out of the money and sell in out of the money and try to be profitable on one side. All right. Compared to this chart of it's kind of flat and no volume. All right, so see the difference there? One's a butterfly of we're doing in the monies and want it to be in the middle. One's a strangle where we're doing out of the monies and we want it to pop up to a higher low. So if you go to, this is the question I'm trying to answer here real quick. So we're talking about binaries. So again, what did I tell you earlier? If you're a binary trader, everything you need is right here. Okay, if you're an Essentials member. Trading system courses. 5-minute binary trend catcher course, binary strangle course, binary butterfly course. So if you want to be trading 5-minute binaries, watch that course. if you want to know how to, on the 20-minute binaries, trade the strangles or butterflies, you can watch, I say it's a course, but the strangle and butterfly tab there is just one video each. Okay. If you're an elite member and you have access to, because you have to be an elite member to be able to trade the 20-minute binaries with the trend catcher system. Okay, because you have to have access to the trend catcher on the indices. Again, watch the 5-minute binary course, change that to 6-tick bars and 20-minute ranges. So, okay guys, I know there's a lot of stuff there. Like I said, not a lot of new stuff or new releases for you. Just wanted to go through and address some updates on Elite Trend Catcher, reminders of rollover, and then just go through and address some things we are seeing a lot of. You know, every so often on these Thursday webinars, we'll do that. We'll be like, hey, seeing a lot of this in the room, getting a lot of questions about this in the room, or a lot of questions in the help desk. So it's always good to go back and recover the basics, answer those questions, make sure you guys know where you can go to find information, or just clarify some simple things that might be causing the issues of, hey, I thought I was following the rules, but I forgot about that one rule, which kind of brings everything together. Okay. All right, guys, I will try to have this again. If you go to questions tab, training questions forum on the Apex website here, that will take you to the general trading forum. Okay, it might show hide or show. If it's hidden, just press show. Apex webinars, newest webinars. That is where this webinar will be posted. I'll try to get this possibly posted later tonight, for sure by tomorrow, if y'all want to just kind of recover some of these things that we reviewed. That will be there for you. Okay. All right, guys. John, Raphael, Van, you're very welcome. Thanks for being on, and for you veterans, thanks for being on a basics review here. That, like I said, might be old news for some of you, but for some of the new guys, hopefully helped you put a few things together. And we will see you in the rooms tonight and tomorrow, and then we will have a Nadex webinar Monday night that I'll probably be doing. I'm not sure if Daryl will be back in time. But anyway, if you have any other questions, check out those videos, review the courses, ask in the rooms, or submit a help desk ticket, and me or Tony or Austin will get you all taken care of. Okay? Don't forget your rollovers this weekend. All right, guys, I appreciate it. We'll shut it down for now and let you guys get rolling. Thank you for your time. Have a good afternoon.